ahead and go live. All right, we're lively now.
Awesome.
We got 10 minutes to go. We're lively. It's a lively, lively show. Let me find a note.
Take up my my ginseng drink. You know, these little ginseng things are freaking fantastic.
I need to go down to Chinatown and buy a bunch of them.
Definitely, because I need to send you there to buy a bunch for me too. These things are so useful. Like, even when I'm really tired, all I have to do is have one of these and I get a little zing of energy for the next couple of hours. Mm-hmm. Really useful.
Yep.
Best part is, kids don't like the taste of them. So they're all mine.
They do taste pretty horrible.
I like them. I think it tastes good.
And no, it tastes like crap.
Well, the red ones actually taste much better than the green ones. Mm-hmm. I use the green ones, but the red ones actually have honey in them, so quite tasty.
No, they still taste.
Okay.
I don't use them because they taste good. I use them because they're really great energy and nutrition boost.
Really are. They're good for you too.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole
Which
point.
Isn't always the case with the things that give you energy. Actually, it's rarely the case these days.
Yeah. Yep. I used to use them a lot when I wrote kabuki caps. And let's see, everything else is cool.
How are we sounding on the YouTubes?
I don't know. Let's have a listen. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Test, test, toast, test, test, toast, toast, test, test, toast, toast, test, test, toast, toast, test, test. And
Squirrel.
How are we sounding on the YouTubes?
I don't know. Let's have a listen. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Test, test, toast, test, test, toast, toast, test, test, toast, toast, test, test, toast, toast, test, test. And
Squirrel.
Sounds all good.
Awesome.
Could you hear it?
I could hear it beautifully. This is great, man. You can actually hear things.
Yeah. See how the audio continues on.
Hopefully it turns out all good.
That's what we're hoping for.
Seems to be pretty good. Did you fix your wires again, or did you just play with the settings?
I went and played with the settings this morning.
Ah.
I went and matched the settings at the brewery overlook.
Brewery Overlook has always had a bit better sound, so.
What's that?
The brewery overlook does tend to have better sound, I've noticed. Yeah. So matching them is a good idea.
Well, that's what I did. I went and matched the settings to the brewery overlook this morning so I could get it done. That, and I processed tomatoes, and I've got a big vat of tomato sauce. It's probably about 10 or 12 quarts. Simmer it down. It'll probably be 8, 9 quarts by the time I simmer it down. No, not quarts, pints.
Oh, so apparently can hear, but Amber is not totally clear.
You're not totally clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure why I'm not totally clear.
All right, hang on. I want to hear what it sounds like. It's really tough for me because I got crappy headphones right now, so I can't really hear clearly.
All right, ready? You can hear, but Amber is not totally clear.
You're not totally clear. Okay, talk again, kid.
All right, I thought you were going to have me say test a whole bunch or something like that.
Yeah, well, I messed it all up. I hit the wrong button too soon, and then we were dealing with it. Okay, let's give it a nice big blank space of air, and then you talk.
Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Test, test, test.
Yeah, let's hear how it sounds.
Test a whole bunch or something like that.
Yeah, well, I messed it all up. I hit the wrong button too soon, and then we were dealing with it. Okay, let's give it a nice big blank space of air, and then you talk.
Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Test, test, test.
Sounds like it does sound like you're overmodulating.
Test a bunch or something like that.
Talk quieter, or move away from your mic a bit.
I think I might know what's going on. I had to change a setting the other day. Let me
Yeah, it sounds like you're overmodulating, and that's something that I can't do anything about.
that should be a bit better.
Yeah, even in my crappy headphones, you sound a little better.
Yeah, I had to turn my voice thingy up, my output up the other day.
Yeah.
So let me
Yeah, then turn it back down just a bit.
All right. Guess just do you have to like specifically record something, or do you just like having a blank space right before?
What's that?
Well, when you're testing on YouTube, just out of curiosity, do you have to specifically choose a time to record, or do you just go
I
from the
put
blank
a blank
space?
in front of it because before I can hear it on the YouTubes, when I turn the volume onto the YouTube to listen to it, it's a 30-second delay. So the blank spot tells me where the test starts. Also tells me whether or not it's actually getting silence.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to try testing again?
No, you sound much better now. I've done some adjustments here. It should be good. Let's see.
Squirrel!
How do you hear that? You hear that?
Hear what?
Squirrel!
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah. Okay. And then you can hear. Are you tired of the same old web hosting? How's that?
I'm not sure what it was, but it sounded like a very nasally voice mumbling something.
Yeah, that was me with a piss poor commercial recording. You hear that?
I heard that.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that.
There we go. Okay, we're all good.
Your alter ego says much better.
All right, so we're all good. All right, we're rolling up on it, and it's time for some music to bring us to showtime.
Search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Come on now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not Z.
It's episode 577, and we have plugins for WooComerce, searching fields, suicide squirrels, font sizing, cube plugins, designing by clicks, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gem? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the Oasis, deep in the heart of the Cowichan Valley. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber Overall.
And we have a great show for you today. Hopefully we got all the sound cleaned up and working. And please, folks, let us know if it's not working. We keep trying. I'm trying to get this sound back to the perfection it once was. Other than that, I don't have that much to say. So
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
Welcome to episode 577, Crisp, Colorful Fall WordPress Plugins. This is episode number 37 for 2022. And as mentioned before, we are working through a new layout for the show. Would love to hear back on what people think about this layout, whether it's good, bad, or, awesome. And a message from your A to Z plugin worker bees. This is a value for value show, meaning any value you find here, offer that same value back. This can be telling someone about us, offering up $5 or more, or spending some time helping out the show. And don't skip the end of the show, dear producers. This is where I throw oddball questions at my dad and see if we can stump him at all. I haven't managed to yet, but maybe one day. Perhaps our listeners could help us out with this. And a special note to our new listeners, there is no such thing as a stupid question. There is always someone out there with the same questions, and stepping up to ask them will help both you and them. There's no judgment here or in this community, so ask away. So let's start the show with this week's featured artist. This week's featured artist is Greg's Graphics. And could you share your screen? Because I think it's the one of the beautiful fall.
yes, it is.
Oh, I'm a bit modulated again. Okay. But yeah, it's a beautiful fall, and there we go. Now I can see it. Now my brain is back on track. All walking down a path with all the beautiful leaves falling. Kind of cool when that happens. It's like the whole world is painted multicolors. Yeah, this is Greg's Graphics. Thank you, Greg, for keeping up with our show with your beautiful art. If anyone out there is feeling inspired, you can send in your work to plugins.a2z.com/artwork. And you can check out all the artwork at wplugins.a2z.com/submittedartwork. On to the news.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! Thank you. And now the WordPress news.
What, Amber?
Just one sec. I'm going to turn down my sound again.
Yeah, you need to adjust that.
Yeah, there. That should be better, yeah?
Yeah, well, hopefully. I can't tell.
Hopefully. All right. So first up this week, we have the WordPress Vulnerability Report for October 19th, 2022. There is one WordPress core vulnerability. It has been patched, but it was patched in version 6.0.3, so be sure to update if you haven't already. As for regular plugins, there are only a few plugins to be aware of. One of them is WP Hide, which is definitely good to know because I know that one is very popular. And then we have Highlight Focus, WPB Show Core, and AB Press Optimizer. So do keep an eye on those. There's no fix for them currently, though next week's report may say something different. Next up, we have discussion on replacing plugin active install growth data continues behind closed doors. So we brought this up last show, and the original reason cited for removing this was insufficient data obfuscation. So this reason has been expounded upon. Now, according to Samuel Otto Wood, the reason is really quite simple, apparently. It was removed because, by and large, nobody was using them. Nobody was using the chart itself. By and large, the chart was not useful to the majority, and it didn't really fit the purpose we had for it, that we had in mind when we implemented it. So, understandably, this particular statement has caused a bit more of a brush fire to start. If you are interested in getting your word in, or in simply just following what is going on, you can find the link in our show notes.
I love it. Nobody was using it, but yet shitloads of people complained about it. But nobody was using it.
Yeah, of course, no, nobody was using it. Nobody at all. That's why it's such a huge issue now that's been removed.
Yeah. I guess they just didn't know anyone was using it.
That's not. Next, we have Jetpack Social Plugin adds a paid plan, and the free users are now limited to 30 shares per month. This is causing a bit of an issue, as previously free users could share an unlimited number of posts automatically through their social media accounts. The new paid plan started out with a cap of 1,000 shares at $10, though they have since changed it to unlimited shares at $1 for the first month and then $10 every month thereafter, no cap. So that's a bonus, but at the same time, a lot of people are kind of upset about this, since before they could have it for free, no cap, just keep going.
Yeah, well, you gotta realize, the stuff isn't free, because somebody pays the resources on it, but I don't blame them for charging. They just did a piss poor job about going about doing it.
Yeah, I think it's good that they're charging, but they should have done something about, like, hire one of those people who works with the public to help them.
Yeah, well, everybody's got to make a living, but yes, they kind of screwed up in how they implemented this one.
Yeah.
It's going to chase a lot of people off the platform. I don't like Jetpack to begin with, so I've never used Jetpack stuff. So I didn't like Jetpack.
Me either.
From its inception, I did not like Jetpack. And what really saddened me with Jetpack was how they took a lot of free plugins and rolled them into Jetpack. So the only way you could continue to use the free plugins was install the entire Jetpack mess.
Yeah, it's a multi-tool with too many tools.
That's exactly what it is. It's kind of like looking at one of those multi-tools that's, 3 feet thick and you're trying to use the little screwdriver in the very middle.
Yeah. Next, we have 10up publishes Gutenberg Best Practices website. So this is actually a public resource with tutorials, documentation, and example code for Gutenberg. Glancing through it, I actually found it to be quite helpful, and I think it's a good idea. I mean, I know I'll be checking it out more as I continue to try to wrap my head around it. So it's a good thing for people who are interested.
Yep. Yeah, I was rereading an article the other day about the internet, the future of the internet, what Gutenberg is supposed to, what role it's supposed to play in the new Web 3.0 thing that's coming our way, whether we like it or not. I may have to just become a hermit and bury all my electronics underground and leave them there.
Next, we have WordPress documentation team to host its first online contributor day on October 25th, 2022. So for those who are out there who like to check these out, like to attend them, this should be interesting. I mean, I personally think that because it's online, maybe there will be more of a mixed bag of people who will be there. Who knows?
Maybe. It's kind of variable. You also get more trolls because it's online.
Yeah, trolls can be so entertaining, though.
They're entertaining, but they create such disruption sometimes that it's not worth it.
True. Next we have WordPress themes directory adds style variation previews. So the WordPress.org theme previews just got a major improvement with the addition of the style variation previews. Now, rather than clicking and hoping that it works out, you can actually see what the block themes look like for the ones that include style variations. I think it'll make it a lot easier to pick and choose what looks right for you.
Cool.
Yeah. Last on this list is a new common sense test for AI could lead to smarter machines.
Yeah, just what we need.
I didn't catch what you said.
I said, yeah, just what we need. Smarter machines.
Well, I can't use common sense yet. Common sense kind of seems to be running away screaming in general these days,
Well,
so I'm not sure how well they're going to be able to teach the AI.
I don't know where they're going to find
But-
common sense to teach it to the AI. There's a serious lack of it in the world right now.
The reason they are working on teaching AI common sense is because it really comes down to the fact that common sense will make AI better at helping us to solve real-world issues. If they manage to do this, we are certainly going to be dealing with an uprising of the AI, in my opinion.
Yes.
After all, they develop common sense. They'll be like cats with opposable thumbs, and we all know that cats would rule the entire world if they had opposable thumbs.
Well, pretty much. But, if the AI develops common sense, it'll come to the reality of common sense that humans are irrelevant and should be dispensed with.
So for ClassicPress news, there is no news or fundraising goal update directly from the ClassicPress this week. So if you are interested in checking out the news that we've already brought, you can go into our show notes.
Hello.
And then we have the extras. Our extras have, they have random stuff in there. There's some hacking info, there's some random info, there's some WordPress info. So go and check out our show notes and see what we have in the extras. There's always at least one entertaining thing in there for you.
Yeah, there is.
Let's have a peek at our contests.
Okie dokie. Let's go do that. As I can find it.
It's a contest. WordPress plugins from A to Z. Stuff for free!
Firstly, we want to thank Simple Giveaways for being totally awesome and providing us with their premium version for our contests. Secondly, we want to thank Steve Goodtime and Brant Matthews for creating our amazing jingle we still use. And we have some amazing news. Charlie's back, and he brought with him, from the great wilds out there, a contest. We are so happy to have Charlie back. I mean, honestly, I think he's kind of the only one who can fill the shoes he left behind, so I'm so happy he came back to us. Now, the contest we have for this next couple of weeks is it's a license for Breakdance Page Builder. It's a 1-year license valued at $149. And I was checking this out, and it's actually pretty cool. I mean, there's a bit of a controversy considering that the makers of Oxygen created this and just kind of dropped it on everyone. So that was some interesting history to it. If you're interested, go check out the Oxygen versus Breakdance, and it's some interesting stuff in there. But this is a really cool thing. It has it's basically like Elementor for WooCommerce is what I kept thinking as I was looking around through it. It is really awesome to use, very easy to use, and it does seem to be geared very specifically to WooCommerce. But you can use it for your whole site. It is a plugin, not a theme. So it is a really cool thing. Go and sign up for the contest.
Absolutely. Another cool one from us. Yay, us.
Now on to the good stuff.
Alrighty, it's plugin time. We do have some plugins for you this week. First one I have off the bat for you is WooCommerce Colored Order Notes. This is a nice little simple plugin for those of you that are running a WooCommerce store, and as your orders start coming in, you start to realize that everything being in one color gets to be a little bit difficult to see, especially whether you're determining whether the order is what the order status is, whether it's on hold, paid, pending payment, or whatever. This little plugin here colorizes those items for you, and you can set them up to whatever colors you want. You can set up for pending payment, processing, awaiting shipment, on hold, completed, canceled, refunded, failed, all of that, so you know at a quick glance what's happening with the orders in your order list. And as that order list gets bigger and bigger, as you're making your millions and millions on your WooCommerce store, you want to have something to help manage all of that stuff. And this little plugin could help you do that just by making it easier to see what you're doing. So anyway, go check it out. It's WooCommerce Colored Order Notes, and I give it a 4 dragon rating.
That does look really useful.
Well, it's going to go into my store, because as my orders are coming in, I'm starting to have to manage them. So
what I've got today is Simple Font Resizer. This is a pretty awesome little plugin. With this plugin, you're able to create a button for your posts and pages for your readers that they can enlarge the font or make the font smaller. It's really simple, but I think it's a great idea. Some sites just show up with way too tiny writing or way too big writing, and it can be really frustrating. And by having this right on the site, people can just fix it immediately. And it's totally free, works really well, and there's no need for shortcodes. Although they do have shortcodes available for special pages. I rate this at 5 dragons.
I haven't seen one of these in quite some time. These used to be very popular several years back for font resizing. And then they've fallen out of favor. I guess all the people using the internet are getting old and tough to see the screen again. So they're time for it to come back in vogue for all those folks that can't see the screen.
I'm really happy about it because it means no more Control Plus or Control Minus, and I'm screwing up the screen sizes for everything else.
Yeah, there's that problem too. All right, next one I have for you is WP Custom Fields Search. It's a new search plugin. I've barely begun to test it to see how it works, but it's one you can set up. It goes into a widget area, allows you to customize a form for people to find things on your site, whether they want to see news, events, prices, locations, ages, whether it's to help make it easier for people to find what they're looking for on your site. I think it's something that I will eventually be able to use, considering the products that go in at the Oasis. And just to make it so people can search what they're looking for instead of wandering around. So at any rate, I thought it was going to be a really useful plugin, one that you can check out. Currently, it's all free for everything you need. So go check this out. It's WP Custom Fields, and I give it a 5 dragon rating.
Very nice. I've seen search things like that before. That one looks like it's pretty well set up.
Yeah. Big thing is you got to make sure, you know, I've noticed that a lot of newer themes and stuff have completely done away with the widgets.
Yeah.
I'm not certain exactly how it's going to work. Like, my theme still has widgets, but if you don't have a theme that has no widgets in it, you might be facing a problem. So who knows? You know, I didn't see if it has Gutenberg block or not, but because that's what, of course, where the widgets went. They went into Gutenberg blocks.
Mm-hmm. Next one I have is Cubecolour New Plugins. So this is a plugin I've reviewed before, but I wanted to bring it back and give it a shout out. I really, really love this plugin. It's because of this plugin that I'm able to bring new and exciting plugins each week. Once installed, you go to the Add New button on your plugins list, and you will see the menu options pop up for new, featured, popular, recommended, favorites, and beta testing. Apparently, this is how WordPress used to have it,
yes,
and then they
this
changed
is exactly
it.
how WordPress used to have it.
I don't know, man, because by the time I signed up and joined into this, it wasn't there.
No, they took it away several years ago, and everybody bitched about it, and they ignored us all, and they went on their merry way. It's like, but it made it so much easier to find plugins. Of course, they only put up their featured one now because, of course, most of the featured plugins are made by Automatic.
Ah. Well, I like this plugin a lot. It makes it so much easier to find plugins, search for plugins. It's a totally awesome one. It's completely free. Absolutely worth checking out. It's Cubecolour New Plugins. I rate it at 5 dragons.
Very, very cool. And there it is.
It's time to donate to WP plugins A to Z.
Up this meat and potatoes of Plugin Depravity Edition to bring you our donation segment and to thank our producers. Remember, this is your show. We're just the worker bees here. Don't forget to restock the show's larders with some time, treasure, or talent donations. If you need more information on how to do that, you can check out our site, wppluginsa2z.com, and right up in the menu, you will see each one under donations. Special thanks goes to freelance producers popping in and out. Though always showing up at unexpected times, these producers are surely part of the reason our name is getting out there. And backroom producers hanging out in the lounge. Always about the place, consuming all the coffee and donuts. These producers earn it by helping out with our contests, artwork, site organization, notes, questions, suggestions, licenses, and by hiring us. Your time and talent donations are equal to your treasure donations of under $50, and we would not be here without you. And War Room producers. With their donations of $50 or more, these producers receive a few extra perks: an official A to Z handle of their choice, a spotlight in that week's show for a short speech, an official executive producership credit, and seeing the magic as it happens up in the war room before we send the show out into the netherworld of the internet. Thank you for sticking by us and helping to keep the backroom producers stocked in coffee and donuts. And in our show notes, there is an explanation of the A to Z handle, spotlight, producership credit. There's an explanation of all of those in our show notes. Now, back to the meat and potatoes of Plugin Depravity Edition.
Absolutely. And the final plugin I have for you today is an honorable mention for
Squirrel.
One more time?
Squirrel.
Yeah, very old plugin. And it is called Suicide Squirrel Threat Advisory System. I don't even want to install it. 13 years old now, and not even certain if the plugin will work anymore. I just happened to trip across it and was like, oh, wow, that was kind of an entertaining plugin way back in the day. And it was based upon the good old yellow-red threat thing. But you could have Suicide Squirrel threat level alerts. And you could put up different squirrels, and you could change the message for it. It was just all kinds of entertaining fun. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring that forward because it was lots of fun. If someone out there is wanting to practice developing a plugin, download this one and update it to modern coding standards and re-release it. It would be lots of fun. So, at any rate, I have to give this one a 3 squirrel rating.
Squirrel. Squirrel. Squirrel.
There you go. Would be a 5 if it was possible. I would give it a 5 if it was possible to rate it.
Yeah, don't download it. It's just an honorable mention.
Yeah, it's an honorable mention. Download it if you don't download it, just zip download it and break it apart if you're into developing and you want something to practice on, because this could be a fun plugin to update.
The last one I have for today is called ClickDesigns. Now, I'm not really sure about this one. The first thing they do is ask for an API key, which means you have to sign up on their account. But they do offer free trial, which is cool of them. Once you click on free trial, you're taken to a new page where you have to sign up. And then when you get your free trial, essentially what you get to do is you get to play around with all the tools on their site. So I think that the API key is to connect your account to your site, and then whatever work you do on the ClickDesigns website, you can then upload to your site, to your personal site through the API key. I think that's how it works. I didn't feel like really getting a pro version. The thing is that while they have a lot of cool tools, it's not like, wow, it's not astounding. It's not something that I personally would think was worth paying any money for. Honestly, it reminds me of this logo app my husband has on his phone that's completely free. So you can use the same tools for free elsewhere and then just take your work from there and upload it to your site. I'm kind of on the fence about these guys. I like the idea, but I also don't like it. So I rate these guys, the ClickDesign fellas, at 3 dragons. Then we have ClassicPress. We don't have any plugins to go over for ClassicPress. I have been challenging our listeners every week to write a review of your favorite or least favorite ClassicPress plugin and send it in to us. You can do so by hitting us up at wpplugins.com/submit-plugin-review. And we have a ClassicPress resource section. This information is like fruitcake. It does not wither away and will still be good years down the road, so it's great for learning. Go and check this section out in our show notes if you have an interest. And then we have questions, notes, and feedback from our producers. Unfortunately, our messenger pigeon seems to have gotten lost on the way here today. Must be all that rain we've been having.
Could be. Now that it's finally here.
And then we have how to be part of your own production. You can get yourself interviewed. You can use us as your tool. You can get that set up by going to WP A-to-Z.com/interview. You can also send in plugin reviews or suggestions for plugin reviews, whether you love it or hate it. Doesn't have to be just a 5 dragon rating. It can be a 1 dragon rating. Send it on into us. We don't have any meetups planned for right now. Our meetup on September 10th was pretty awesome. Keep an eye on this section, though, because I'm sure that we'll be coming up with another meetup soon enough. So today's plugins that we covered were...
I covered up the WooCommerce colored order notes, which I gave a 4 to. The WP custom field search, which I gave a 5 to. The Suicide Squirrel Threat Advisory System, which should be a 5, but it only got a 3 squirrel rating because, well, it's just fun.
I'll have to change down the notes. And I covered Simple Font Resizer, which I rated at 5. Cubecolour new plugins, which I rated at 5. And ClickDesigns, which I rated at 3. Hi, Hemdian. Glad to see ya.
Hey, Hemdian. You're just in time for the really fun part of the show.
Ways that you can support the show. You can support us? You can support us by subscribing to our newsletter,
It is a sports
donating.
show now. Let's talk about ice hockey.
Ice hockey?
Yeah, don't they take chunks of ice and bat them around with bats or something?
I don't know. The original meaning of puck was a frozen piece of poop. So
Well, that's probably what they used.
that's why it's called a puck and why it's black.
So anyway, sorry, that was a really side trip into nowhere.
That's on Stitcher Radio, Google Play, or the iTunes Store. You can also join us on our Facebook, and make sure to hit the like button on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's I thought your gain is too high on your mic again.
How is that possible?
I have no idea, and I can't control it.
I'm going to blame you anyway.
Well, hopefully it'll even out when I run this thing through something later, but you've got something set in your voice thing that's a little off.
Strange.
Yeah.
Let's see here. If I go into...
You had a couple there.
Maybe that's better?
It got clear for a second there.
Hopefully. Maybe that's better?
Nope, that's much worse.
Am I sounding any better? Any different?
Nope. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you're super quiet all of a sudden, huh?
Am
Hang
I
on.
quiet? Should I? I'm not quiet.
No, for some reason in my headphones you went really quiet. Am I sounding any better?
No, you're not really sounding better at all. Hello, where'd you go? Now you vanished. Don't worry,
Is that
folks.
better?
I'll fix this in post. Yeah.
Is this better?
No, you're way worse and quieter now.
Okay.
Are you adjusting voice settings in Discord?
Yeah, I fixed things up to make it. I was just trying something that I had played with before.
I'm quiet but clear. Well, that'll
Mhm.
that'll come out. That'll be leveled out when I fix it for the post. That's
And
strange.
I'm not sending any
We had
guys?
perfect audio at the very beginning of the show.
We did. It was beautiful.
See, now you're almost invisible to me. I can barely hear you, and I haven't adjusted anything.
How's that?
A little better.
Okay, we'll try this.
Oh.
Hopefully that works.
Well, let's get to the end of the show.
Okay. So if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us by snail mail, or you can email us, and then it's on to question time.
Alrighty.
It's question and answer time.
Whenever.
So my first question is, oh, right, before I ask my questions, if anyone out there has any questions they'd like to have asked here on the show, send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca, and let's see if we can stump my dad. First question is, what is the simplest thing you can think of to help fix a computer that a novice doesn't know?
I don't understand the question.
Well, I was thinking back to yesterday with my car, and I thought, well, maybe there's something that is just as simple that somebody who is a novice doesn't know only for computers.
Turn it off and turn it back on. That's the
But
simplest.
everybody knows that one.
Oh, well, there is nothing simpler than that.
One step up from that simple?
Check your cables
What would you be checking in your cables?
that they're plugged in. You'd be amazed what
Okay.
cats will do. They'll go behind your computer and unplug your cables for you, and they'll switch them around. Who says they don't have
No.
opposable thumbs?
Sorry, the note wasn't for you. It was for my cat who tried to lie down on my keyboard.
Yeah, well, there's that problem too.
Yeah.
See, all of a sudden you're clear again. I think you have a problem with your microphone things.
Huh.
See,
Well, it is an old it is a whole old headset.
are you using a microphone on your headset?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the problem?
Yeah. Does the microphone unplug or plug in? Can it be removed from the headset?
No.
Okay. If you move it around, because you moved a certain way with your head, and it suddenly got clear.
More so the cat bumped it.
Well, that's pretty much what happened. Whatever, cat bumped it, something happened, and it got clear for a moment. Then it went back to static. So we know the problem now. It's your microphone.
Okay. It is the microphone. Good
I
to
didn't
know.
realize you were using a headset microphone.
Next question is, what is the first thing you do when you get a blue screen of death?
Scream.
Okay.
It is. It's the first thing I do. It's the first thing you do. It's like, you fucking computer. You scream. You get pissed, and then you sit there and then you reboot the computer and hope that it was a temporary problem and not something major, catastrophic.
I was more so meaning, like, what is the first thing you try to do to fix a blue screen of death?
Reboot the computer. Seriously.
After that?
Well, if it reboots and it runs well, you just go, oh, it was a glitch, and you move along your merry way. You just go glitch, and you continue on your merry way. Because the blue screen of death there's so many reasons that cause it. Unless you've got a specific error that you can start tracking, or if you reboot and it comes back, then you know you've got a problem. I mean, 9.9 times out of 10, it's just what do I do? 9.9 times out of 10, I reboot it, it works, and I just go, okay, I don't have time to chase it down. That 0.1 time, and it reboot it, and the blue screen's back, and now you got to actually diagnose the problem. Because the blue screen happens for a memory fault, a hard drive fault, program glitch. The list is pretty endless as to what causes it. Most of the time, a blue screen is usually caused by a memory error.
Do you get the blue screen of death when the magic smoke escapes?
You don't get nothing when the magic smoke escapes.
Ah,
When the magic smoke escapes from your computer, it's dead.
okay.
Not a good thing if the magic smoke escapes. Yes, that's my theory. Computers run on magic smoke. You want proof? Let the magic smoke out. The computer won't run anymore.
I've heard the phrase "don't let the magic smoke escape" a few times. So
Yes. I think I've
seems
only...
to be a worldwide theory.
Yeah, oh, it's a worldwide theory. I've only ever let the magic smoke out of a computer once.
Is there anything that's savable after?
Well, it depends on where the magic smoke came from.
Really, there's different areas it comes from.
Yeah. It could be coming from the CPU, the memory, the motherboard, the power supply. I think I let the magic smoke out of the power supply once.
Oh,
And then once I replaced the power supply, the rest of it worked fine.
well, that's good.
Actually, I think it's all electronics run on magic smoke. Your household electronics, everything electricity. Electricity is actually magic smoke contained in wires.
Makes sense to me.
Well, you know. All right. Well,
That is the first two questions. Remember, everyone, we will be coming back to ask a couple more questions just after the this next song ends.
yeah, well, this is the closeout of the show. That's why we give you all the other stuff in advance so that you know that the show is going to be closing. And Amber's always got more entertainment for you all after the credits for this show, because this is for those of you who only download it and listen to it on their iPod devices or headsets or whatever. All right, let's let our girl take us out.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
Alrighty. See, this is why you got to join us in the beginning of the show, Hamdian, so we can fix our audio way earlier in the show. All right. That would be it. It is time for Amber to continue the stumpage and see if she can stumpage.
Yeah, haven't managed yet. Maybe eventually.
Yeah, you know.
So,
Like I
what
said,
top
if I don't
three
have an
things?
answer, I just invent it.
What?
I said if I don't have an answer, I just invent it. You don't know the difference.
How do you know? I don't always ask questions that I don't have the answer to already.
Oh, okay.
What top three things should someone new to the scene know about WordPress, in your opinion?
What should they know?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty broad question.
Well, top three things.
Well, hopefully they know a little bit about PHP.
Okay.
They should know a little bit about HTML to understand the underlying language of everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they should know that the WordPress community is very entertaining. That's the polite way of putting it.
Okay. Why PHP and HTML first?
Because PHP is the language that WordPress files are written in, and you will end up looking at them and figuring things out. And HTML, because that's the final code that's output, and you need to understand how that's working. Looks just bizarre.
Makes sense. What looks bizarre?
The WAV file.
Oh. Okay, next question is, what advice would you personally give someone entering into the world of WordPress as a newbie this year? Like someone who's brand new, green as grass,
Well,
just entering in this particular year.
what are they going to do? You know, if they're entering WordPress, what is their goal?
Let's say they're going in to become a developer in WordPress.
Okay. So the question is they're going to become a developer in WordPress. What? Well, that's another one there. You got to narrow down. What are they going to develop? Websites, or are they going to develop plugins, other coded stuff? Because if they're going to develop websites, they'll want some. They'll want to learn some skills in layout and design. If they're going to do plugins, they want some skills in programming.
What about if they were going into WordPress to build a site just for themselves?
Oh, they don't really know anything, because WordPress is made for that sort of person. They want to know. They got to know their goals for what their website's going to be. You know, is it going to be a blog, a news site, a store? Because all the rest of it can be thrown together as time goes on. I've seen some pretty decent websites come from rank amateurs that are just, you know, too broke to pay anyone to do their own website, to do a website for them. I've seen them use some very entertaining plugins, and some that were very good that I'd never heard of, because people start looking for more for stuff. They look in different ways than I look for things. You know,
That makes sense.
I've had customers discover plugins I never even knew existed, and turned out to be way better than something I was recommending.
Cool.
It's really hard to know. The biggest thing, if you're coming into the industry, you have to define what part of the industry you want. It's like going into construction. That's a pretty broad industry. What are you going to do? You're going to be a framer, a concrete layer, a plumber, a painter, hardwood floors, drywall. I mean, the list goes on. What are you going to do?
Oh, Hembian said newbies to WordPress should also learn something about SEO.
Yeah, I don't give much credence to SEO. I personally don't.
I think it really depends on your website. Like, if
Yeah.
you're a developer, you need to have a basic understanding. But if you are doing your own site and you're just doing like a blog, I don't think SEO is that important. But if you're doing a store, it would be more important.
Yeah, well, having been in this industry since the beginning of SEO, and from my own perspective, you know, I can still white hat manipulate SEO statistics. I haven't tried to do it in a while, but I bet I can do it with some of the same old tricks I used back in the day. I white hatted, I manipulated my website back in the days when SEO, well, SEO is still a big thing. I'm talking Alexa. Back in the days when Alexa was king of the heap, I manipulated johnoverall.com to be of the top 10,000 websites in the world in Alexa. You know,
That's interesting.
and it was through simple manipulation of their algorithm. I can't remember what I did to it. But I've done things like that off and on over the years, and what I used to say, what I said back in the beginning still holds true to this day. If you're writing content, write content for humans. Don't worry about the search engine and everything. You write content for humans, you will rise in the ranks. It's that simple. And it still seems to work. Even for my sites now, when I write my content, I rewrite it for humans to understand it and make it usable for humans. You know, granted, humans are not very freaking logical. But for some reason, I still rise in the ranks. I'm no longer there at the top rank because I quit writing content a few years ago. But if you typed in emergency WordPress support, I was the #1 rank for search engines. For johnoverall.com was the #1 rank for emergency WordPress support, because that's what I used to do. I used to do a lot of emergency WordPress support, but So yeah, it's just SEO has got its place, but I think people overthink it. And what they're doing is a manipulation of the algorithms. And then, of course, the search engines try to make it so people can't run those manipulations. But in the end, if you write for human beings, that just still seems to work. So, I don't know. But yeah, SEO is something to know about. It is something to know about, but I don't give it much credence.
Oh, Hemdian said, everyone always asks me, how do I rank at the top of Google? I tell them content is king. And they asked, isn't there something technical you can do?
Yeah, well, see, he's got, that's exactly what he just said. Write for humans. Content is king.
Yeah.
Your writing has to be good content and be usable for humans. And above all, if you're a good writer and you can write it entertainingly and understanding, that's even better, because it's like anything else. If you entertain people, they'll throw money at you, hand over fist, if you can entertain them while giving them something. They'll just, I see it all the time on the YouTube videos, even the moronic stuff, but it's entertaining. So people throw money at them, hand over fist.
That does make sense.
No, it's basically, it boils down to write for humans. Always for the humans, man. Think about the humans. Nobody thinks about the humans anymore.
No, everyone's too busy with cats.
Yeah.
Cats have, like, they've just about taken over the world without opposable thumbs at this point. They dominate the internet.
Yeah. Did that already do that?
Well, I think that is the end of the show.
Yeah, it might very well be.
Thanks for being here, Hemdian. It was great to see you again.
Okay, where did that go? Yeah, I think we'll call that show a wrap. Thanks, Hemdian, for showing up. We greatly appreciate it. The download will be available later, or you can go back and listen to the YouTube version. At any rate, that's all we got. Let's have a little music. Carry us on out the rest of the day.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all.
That looks better.
Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
Alrighty, folks. That's all we've got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Adios, mofo.